Hello class, hi. My name is Regina McLean. I will be your teacher for today and I'm going to be doing some math lessons today that you may not be familiar with, but once you get the hang of it, it'll be quick and simple and easy. So I'm going to ask you guys to go ahead and take out your notebooks, and once you guys get that started, we'll go ahead and start the lesson. This is Math 104. And our lesson today is going to be 4.0a, Operations and Algebraic Thinking. So what do you think of when you hear algebraic thinking? Well, it's more to this that than just numbers and letters. It's more of a topic of specifically thinking about expressions. So for our topic for today, we're going to be thinking about using factors and multiples. Now, this is going to be some new vocabulary we're going to learn today. So we're going to be going over some goals that we're going to accomplish as we learn these new vocabulary words. Our goals is going to be to learn about what a factor is, learn about what a multiple is, find the greatest and the least common factor, create your own math examples after we learn about the definitions of factors and multiples. And keep in mind when you look at these definitions and examples, I want you to think about the goal it is of learning these and how it relates to real life. All right, I'm changing the topic. The topic question for today is mini lesson. So I'm going to hand you out these sheets of multiple papers. It's multiple table charts. You're each going to get one. There's also one in your notebooks. And with these sheets, you are going to look at the multiplication chart, and in your notebooks, I want you to write down how many numbers that show up more than once. So right now, I have a table here myself. This table has a graph here, all numbers. If I were to pick one, for example, I would pick, let's do 9. So I'm circling in 9. So obviously if we go from here, 9 is 1 is here, so 9 times 1 is 9. Let's look at another one here. So we're seeing 3 and 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So we have more than 2 ways to get to 9. In this, I'm going to put down 1 and 9. That's my first way. And then 1 and 3 and 3. That's my second way. So these are my 4 numbers. These 4 numbers are going to be my factors. And you want to know why this is going to be my factors? Because 1 times 9 is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. They both equal 9, so they're both factors of 9. So why don't you go ahead and write that down in your notebooks and pick numbers throughout here. Do the exact same thing that I did. Okay, I heard from the back there, somebody said 20, and they said that 20 was 2 and 10. 2 and 10 are factors. I heard that there's also 5, and the other one was 4. 4 times 5 is 20. So 20 factors is 1, 20, 4, and 5. I heard another one student say over here that there's also factors of 18. Where's 18? We have 9 and 2. So 18 is right here. 1, 9. And obviously 1 and 18, that's not on the board, but we know that 18 times 1 is 18. So that's also a factor. And I think there is one more too. I'm double checking. Oh, yep. We have 3 and 6. So 3 times 6. So I say all this because these are all factors of numbers. And we're going to be basically seeing these numbers and learning about these groups as we go by. So now that we learned that, what I'm wanting to do is I'm going to put up these definitions. We're going to go over each definition and go over how do we go about those numbers, especially when we're comparing factors and multiples together. All right, guys. So now that we just handed out these textbooks, we're going to go to page 43. And in that, there are examples of factors, least common factor, greatest common factor, and multiples. And I already put up the definitions here. We already took independent time to write those definitions down in our notebooks. So now that you have that definition, I want you guys to think of some examples of factors, and then we'll do the greatest common, least common, and we'll do some of multiples as well. So I'll start with that first column right there. I'm gonna call on you. You said that we have a factor of 16. So 16, obviously 16 times 1 is 16. We also have 4. And what times 4 is equal to 16? 4. So that would be 1, 2. And then is there any others that we can think of? I think there is about one more. 8 and 2. So the factors of 16 is all here. Now, the thing with least common denominator, if we were to have maybe 16 and I would say 4. Who said something about the least common denominator being the lowest number? So look back at this definition. Number that appears in all sets that is the lowest value. So if we were to do these two numbers, we know we already have the numbers for 16. So we need the numbers for 4. 1, obviously, times 4 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. So now that we have these numbers and these numbers, out of all of them, what is the lowest number that appears the most in this group and this group? I see the back. It's 2, right? 2. So our least common denominator, and I will actually go ahead and circle this so you guys can see. 2 and 2. Now guys, with that same information, what do you think obviously the greatest is? Obviously it's the opposite. So the opposite of that is going to be the highest number that's going to appear. Same exact thing. We have this set here, we have this set here. What is the highest number that appears in both of these? It's not 8, but it is 4, okay? 4. And how do we know that it's 4? If it was 8, there would need to be an 8 over here in order for it to be the greatest common factor. Because 4 appears in both areas, greatest common factor, I'm going to put initials, is 4. So that's pretty much the synopsis. You guys are going to go over that more in the worksheets that I give you. Let's do that last one there on multiples. So reading this again, a multiple is a number that is the product result of your integer, which is the whole number. A multiple wouldn't be that you're finding what times what is what. If you have a number, say 9, let's make 9. Multiples of 9 would be 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 2 is 8. 9 3, 27. So rather than looking at this, multiples are looking at this. These are all multiples of 9. And some people get it a little bit confused because sometimes they think, oh, but the factor is this and that. Well, the factor is the numbers that make the product. The multiple is the product that comes from the numbers. So anything that you multiply by 9, 8, 18, and 27 will all be multiples of 9. And this can apply to any number that you do. So I know that was a lot, but what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, I'm going to hand out these worksheets that you're going to do. And I want you to just give it a try and use your sheet that you got from me. This is the sheet right here. And I want you to try and use that sheet to help you answer the questions. And I'll come around the class and see how everybody's doing. Okay guys, I'm gonna pause you all to get your attention as you continue to work on those sheets. I want you guys to keep in mind, still look at those definitions. I also put up a bonus definition, so including factors and multiples. There's also prime numbers. Prime numbers is just an additional step where a positive number greater than 1 that is not a product of 2 integers, which is basically whole numbers. I'll show you real fast what that means. You don't have to know this for next week, but I do want you to keep in mind if it does come up in your textbook or something. So quick example of what a prime number looks like on the number, oops, sorry about that, on the number line or the multiplication chart. A good example would be 3. So how many times does 3 be multiplied? It goes into 1, right? I heard that from the back there, so 3 times 1 is 3. Is there anything else that we can multiply to get 3? No, right? obviously we only can do 3 times 1, and it's a factor 3. So this is considered a prime number when you don't have any other integers that can additionally support and go to 3. 9, would we consider 9 a prime number or not? Well, obviously, let's look at here. We have 9 times 1. We know that 9 times 1 is 9. And we also know that 3 times 3 is 9. We have 2 ways to get to 9. But is that the same way as here? Obviously, that's not the same way, so we can't say that 9 is a prime number. 9 is not a prime number. So only numbers that can multiply itself by 1 and not any other number is considered a prime number. So I basically say this because it's going to appear in your problems, and I don't want you guys to freeze up when it does happen. All I want you to do is just think about this definition and apply it the same way you do with the factors and multiples. I also want you guys to do this do now too. It's an extra additional guidance practice. I want you to write down what is the factors of 36. Because if we know that 9 times 4 is 36, what are the factors of 36? How many multiples are there in the number 9? How many multiples are there in the number 4? Write that down in your notebooks, and I want you to make sure you list them from 1 to 5. So just do multiples of 1 to 5. I will go around in case anybody is a little lost about that. And after this, I'm going to pass out what you're going to do for homework, and then we're going to probably wrap up from there. Okay, guys, we got 3 more minutes. So now that class is almost over, I'm going to hand you guys your homework sheets. I also want you guys to make sure you write down. You're going to do page 54 to 58 in your notebooks. So make sure you write that down. And I also want to make sure that you guys finish the worksheets that you did in class and bring it with me and bring it to class the next time you come in. So whatever you didn't get to finish, you'll do for homework. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll be over here at my office desk. And it was great working with you all. Thank you so much. And have a good rest of your days.